Right, I got a little bit distracted yesterday, so back onto this again. I'm going to try and get the fan off. There we go. Sometimes you can be a bit brutal with them trying to get them off. I like to tighten them up so they don't spin off, because sometimes with the torque of the engine, when it stops fast, if you don't tighten them up, the fan comes off. That's not good, is it? Now if you've got AC on this, I just remembered, if you've got AC, you don't have to degas it or anything like this. Just pull it to one side and move it out of the way. However, by taking the radiator out, it'll give you plenty of room, but the last thing you want to do is degas all the system just to take an engine out. So you can take the radiator out, it gives you enough room to pull the engine out, but just move things out of the way, if you see what I mean, on the rubber pipes if possible. They're a nightmare to work on, is anything with AC on. And like I say, if you have to degas it, that gets expensive. And the fan out, put it on the bench. With the fan out the way, we can pull the radiator forward, boom, like that, no messing, no tears. Get that out of the way. We're not quite there yet, but we've got great access now to the hoses for the bottom radiator hose, and also for the pipes here, these 15/16. And now you can see how you can swing those pipes off with no tears. You've got to take that cover off. Notice when I did the belt, I didn't take the belt off before I took the fan off. It stops the pulley rotating. Alright, so that's that. So let's get the bottom hose clamp off. We'll also take off the turbo intercooler pipe. We're just going to take it off this clip here, the bolt that goes on your inner wing here, and one of the bottom hose clips here, and we'll just pull it out. Can we get into that one? Right way around we can. There we go. The bottom hose clip is naturally a different size. I think it's 5/8. No, 5/6. Right, the bottom hose clip. Move it out the way and then tighten it back up again. And that's it. So we should be able to get out the bottom hose. And again, we don't have any fluid leak because we've already drained it out, haven't we? There we go, that's that out. Next thing is 10mm bolt. There we go. That's where the long sockets come in handy. Take this off here, take it off here, take the bottom hose off, and put the nut and bolt back through the hole. Now I know people are saying you should put windtop protectors on, you know, like the plastic ones, but they're sort of, for this instance, they're just getting in the way. So we take that off, and again, put it on the bench. Right, next thing, we're just about ready to take this radiator out. We're going to take this top hose off, move the clip, tighten it on, out the way. We've also taken it off, the clip off the expansion tank, we'll move that out the way. The next thing, we're going to take the oil cooler pipes off. Now pay attention and put a bowl, an oil catcher underneath, because there's no way we can stop the oil coming out of this radiator. But a top tip, we take the hoses off and let it drain, otherwise we're going to have oil all over the floor. So let's get that pipe off. There we go, that's that one off. These don't have to be very tight. A lot of people want to tighten them up. I might probably undo them. Don't lose the little O-ring. Alright? Yeah, sometimes a bugger to get on. and you can see oil now. Now I'll tell you what we'll do something different. We'll lift this radiator out like this and just put it straight on the floor. So we don't have oil everywhere. No, that was pretty good. You can see down here the oil coming out. We'll just soak it up and we'll put that pipe so it drains. We're not going to drain the oil out of this engine, we're going to just leave it in. It'll help preserve it. Well, no, wait a minute, what am I saying preserve it? We're going to put it back in again, aren't we? Or are we? I don't know. We'll see. Right, that's that out the way. Now you can see we've got great access to the front of the car, front of the engine. So let's look at some other bits and pieces. One of the things I like to do is take off the expansion tank when you're doing an engine. Makes life so much easier. Now there's already should be captive nuts in here, and you can see now where those big extension bars come in handy. And a 10mm on this one. Again, save the nut, put it through the hole. A bit tight in the plastic, that one. There we go. Take it off. Again, put the nut and bolt back in. Nut and bolt and spring washer, and we can put that back on the bench. Now, there are different schools of thoughts on how to do the fuel filter. Sometimes it's a lot easier to take the filter off and just swing it to one side and leave it on the engine. This is like if you're going to do a clutch. It's just as easy to do it like that. Because I take, if I'm going to do a clutch on a 300 TDI, I just take the engine out. It's so much easier. We'll put the bolts back in the holes. That done. What happens is when you put your engine in, if you don't take the container out, the expansion tank, the injector pump hits it when you lift it up, and you're sort of fighting against it, and that's the last thing we want to do. So the next thing we want to have a look at, a little trick I might do on this one. I think I'll do it on this one. I'll show you how to take off the power steering pump, and then we can get that out of the way, and I'll show you how I swing it and move it out, so it's easier to than bleeding all the system through and losing oil everywhere. With the belt still on, we're slackening off the bolts. That saves fighting with the pulleys. And then you can see how easy it is now to take this off. Oh well, Land Rover. Pull it off. Put the bolts back in the holes. Now we can take the 4 bolts off, holding the pump on. And then we can move that, swing it right down underneath, get it out of the way, and it's not in the way of anything there. So we put the bolts back in the holes. Like that. Next, we've got that off, we can undo the wires off the back of the alternator. The next thing we're going to do is remove the heater hoses. Again, move them up and out the way. Now you're going to get a little bit of coolant come out of these, so get ready with your bungs. And hold it up, bung it in. Yeah, you can't help that little bit in that pipe. Let's do the other one. Pull it up. Hopefully we've got the right size bung. There we go. Now I like to tie those up with a bungee strap to the bonnet. Right, the next thing we're going to take off is the air cleaner. Now this is a bit tricky because this has got the hose that goes onto the wing. It's a bit tricky to film, but what I'm going to do is just simply go down the side. Now everything's out. Undo that hose clip, move it to one side, and then take the hose off. Now pay attention with this one, hold on to the plastic drain piece and then pull it apart. Don't just pull it straight off because you can break the plastic moulding at the bottom. So that's off. We can take the clips off. There we go. That's that off. Move that out of the way. We don't have to take off the actual hose itself, but we want to gain access to the little clips underneath. I'll take the camera off and we'll have a look. There's a hose clip here, and then we want to take this one off. So I've got the hose pipes tidied out the way. They're out the way. So now we should be able to lift this straight out. There we go. Again on the bench. Well, we're getting there. So what we're going to do now is the electrics on this. So we're going to disconnect the starter wire and again move those wires out the way. Let me show you where those are. Well, you probably know already. But oops. So we're going to cut this clip off here and undo the 13mm and then pull the starter off there, the solenoid wire. Get those out the way. Remember, this is why we've disconnected the battery. We're going to make sure that these pipes are not connected here. Might as well do that while I'm here. That's the breather pipe, that can stay on. Yeah, you can see now we've got great access to these bolts here. So there's only about 3 on the top to get off. Because we're going to work underneath in a minute, so we'll just get all these bits off and we'll come back. The next thing we're going to do is take off the fuel feed pipe. This is at the top. This is why you just need 2 spanners, 14mm. Get those off. This is like the factory setup. Some people have got different arrangements like plastic tubes on here, but this is one we're going to take off here. Come on, there we go. That's that one off. And the return pipe that's on the back of the pump. So that's those off. Now, this is a bit of a funny one with these later 300 TDIs because the wiring harness on this, even though there's a plug here, this multi-plug goes to the gearbox as well. We don't want to take that off, so we're going to unfortunately pull the wiring backwards through under the air cleaner and pull it all out of the way. That means getting underneath here, taking the wire off the oil pump, oil pressure switch, and this one here off the back of the injector pump. Pull them out the way. Put those up here. This had exhaust gas recirculation on, which has been disconnected, so it's not so bad. And like I say, just pull them back. They're very easy to work on as a TDI, so we don't have to worry about them too much. Pull them out there. Again, we can wrap those up around our bungee cord. We want to get as many wires out as possible. There is attached to the back, make sure that there's no clips in the back of here. Sometimes, wait a minute, is that one? Yeah, that's it. So that clips off there. This hose around here. Fold as many pipes out the way as you can. The next thing we're going to take off is the wire on the back of the glow plug, on number 4 glow plug. Just be careful when you're taking the wire off the glow plug. Hold the wire while you take it off. It's a bit difficult to film with these clampy things in the way, but you can see it there. And use a 7mm. This time don't use an impact or anything like this, because we don't want to damage the glow plug. They shouldn't be too tight. Take that off. And put the nut back on. Very hard to find those nuts, and again that allows us to pull all that wiring harness out the way. Next thing, throttle cable. Again, I've put a little R-clip through there when I can find it. Why? Oh, here. A little R-clip through here. It's the one I use. Like that. Take it out. Take the pin out. Undo the little clip here. Sometimes these cables are clipped underneath. Take that off. Important. Put the pin back in the hole with your little clip, and then you won't be looking for it. See what I mean? Again, we can tidy that up and put that out the way somewhere. Now, almost last, we can put the filter up here. What else have we got to do? Oh yes, this is the one that's often overlooked. Sometimes on the back of the vacuum pump, it's a push fit, sometimes it's a hose clip. So we're going to take the hose clip off that. It's very difficult to see. But there he is there, look. You see that little clip? Often caught a lot of people out, that one. Again, really handy to get in with. Not messing about with screwdrivers and things. Oh, get that pipe off. Now that could be tape. Again, put the clip on, and again, get it fastened up out the way. So, at the top, everything is now disconnected. We're leaving the oil cooler pipes on till the engine's out, if we need to take them off. But we don't need to disconnect the clutch hose or anything like that. That's a really good thing. Just like I say, run your hands around stuff. Just make sure that there's nothing going to get in your way of taking this motor out. If you want another ratchet strap or something like that, get one, and not a ratchet strap, or a bungee strap, and pull these wires back. There, it's got great access now. So I've got 3 easy access top bolts on here, like little nuts. But what we're going to do now is give it, like I say, one last look around. Make sure the throttle cable's out. Nothing on here. Nothing attached. Oh, now we've got to get that pipe out of there. I forgot that one. Get that one out. Shove that out the way. Get the pipe out the way. Nice and clean round there. Nothing round here. Nothing. So let's lift the car up. Before I lift the car up, I'll drain off the block. It's quite difficult to access, but once you've got the power steering pump off, it's really easy to get to. Let's see if we can do a zoom. There you can see it there, that's the spanner. You see? So I'm going to go around the other side, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some blocks of wood and somehow stick them in here, so when the coolant comes out it doesn't go all over the chassis. That's very difficult to say. Just some bits of wood, and just guide the coolant to go into the bucket at the bottom.